Friday the 13th will always be regarded as one of horror's greatest franchises. The character of Jason Voorhees is iconic, and Camp Crystal Lake is somewhere that no one should be taking a vacation to. A simple premise of a boy drowning and a mother seeking revenge. Soon after, Jason emerges to terrorize hundreds of teens throughout his lifetime. Today, I'll be ranking my personal favorites within this franchise. Remember, I'm not ranking what I think is the best, just what I enjoy the most. So with that being said, let's get right into it. Number 12, Jason X. Jason X has its fans, I get that. And while technically I don't think it's the worst, it's just not for me. I didn't like the look of Jason. Uber Jason is cool, but nah. I didn't care for the setting. I mean, Jason in space and in the future just screams straight to TV early 2000s Sci-Fi Channel original movie. Don't get me wrong, the kills are still great, and those are what carry this franchise as a whole. It even has one of the best kills of the entire franchise. It's just a throwaway movie, and we could have just gone straight from Jason Goes to Hell to Freddy vs. Jason. It was a different idea, I just didn't think it worked too well. Number 11, Friday the 13th, 2009. Although it's placed pretty low, I don't hate this one. I just like the other ones more. This is one of those remakes I found less offensive and really could have continued on as the modern franchise, but it doesn't seem like that's ever going to happen, at least at the time of me making this video. Jason was a force of nature here, and the overall movie really worked. It uses the basic setup of the original films and does a good job with them. No, it doesn't take place at a camp, but this is how you use a somewhat different location. Seeing well-known actors like Jared Padalecki and Alison Mashaka here was a nice change, and they didn't take away from the overall movie. The kills were awesome, and I actually think Baghead Jason looks a lot more terrifying here than when he gets his mask. Number 10, Friday the 13th from 1980. Yes, this is ranked low too. Again, I don't hate it, but it's missing one of the big factors. Jason. The killer for most of the movie is a mystery, and we never see them until the last 20 minutes of the movie. Spoiler alert, it's Mrs. Voorhees, Jason's mom, which is kind of unbelievable that she killed all those people single-handedly, but it's a slasher film, so whatever. It sets up the franchise and is a great summer horror film. It just doesn't have that same level of fun as the sequels, although I am glad it exists. And even though Mrs. Voorhees isn't a believable character, the character itself was great and a great lead-in to the sequel. Number 9, Freddy vs. Jason. Obviously this one would be ranked twice, once here and once when I do my Nightmare on Elm Street ranking. But it places here mainly because it's not really a Jason movie. It leans way more into the Freddy realm, and it's still fine for what it is. Jason here seems a bit nerfed, and I think it would have been better if Kane Hodder would have played Jason. But I digress. The cast was whatever here, the kills were okay. I think what carries it is Robert Englund. This was the last time he would portray Freddy in a movie, and he went all out for it. The fights between the two icons were all actually really great, especially the last one. But when I say Jason seemed nerfed, it's the character aspect of Jason. He was extremely slow, and the decision to make him fear water was dumb. He's clearly been in water many times before, but now he's just afraid. I don't get it. The movie is definitely a big event, watching theater type movie for horror, but on rewatches, it wouldn't be as fun. I don't mind it though. Number 8, Friday the 13th Part 2. A sequel that I find to be better than the original. Part 2 fully introduces Jason as the new killer and does a great job at it. The cast and kills are pretty on par with the original film. Overall, the movie is what the original film is, just with Jason and more kills. I think the lead, Jenny, was better than the lead in the original film. Alice gets off in the first 15 minutes. Jason was seriously not messing around. What also sets Jason apart from the rest of the franchise is the look. He wears a potato sack and overalls, which is vastly different from any other way he's looked. The hockey mask doesn't come until the sequel. There's not much more to be said about this because I find it so similar to the original film, but I did like it more. Number 7, Friday the 13th Part 7, The New Blood. Getting right into it, this is hands down the best Jason has ever been in a film to me. It's Kane Hodder's first time as Jason, and he does it really well. The look is also just amazing to me, really taking zombie Jason literally. The kills were also great. I just wish they would have used the original kills intended for the movie. Why does it rank this low though? Outside of Jason and the kills, it's just not that great of a movie. Some will say that most of them aren't, but I just didn't care for Tina. Rest in peace to Lar Park Leakin though. But the telekinesis angle just wasn't my speed. There's really no one in the cast of characters that I cared for other than Jason himself. I don't know, it's just overall a weird movie to me that is still enjoyable. They should have left the unrated kills alone though. Number 6, Friday the 13th, The Final Chapter. While this one is many people's favorites, it's not in my top 5. Only because I don't have a ton of fun with this one like I do with my top 5. I will say though that on a technical standpoint, this very well may be the best Friday the 13th film. It has everything that makes a Friday movie. Incredibly good Jason, some really good kills, and an actual memorable cast. This was the start of the Jarvis trilogy, with the first Tommy being portrayed by Corey Feldman. I find it pretty ironic that they really tried for a storyline here while also marketing as the final film of the franchise. Thankfully, that wasn't the case. It really did lay the foundation of something that could have really been great, but admittedly, the following sequel wasn't a great follow-up, which will be ironic seeing the placement that it has in my ranking. All in all, I won't argue with anyone who places this as their number 1. It's all about personal preferences. It's still a great movie at the end of the day and has the best Jason death in the entire franchise. Number 5, Friday the 13th, Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan. The title is a bit misleading due to Jason only being in Manhattan for the third act of the movie. I still have fun with it. It's unintentionally funny and I actually like the boat setting for it. Teleporting Jason is super obvious, which again is unintentionally funny. I didn't get the kid Jason visions and all that bullshit, but I can look beyond it for its kills and other moments like this.
You a dead meat slime bag! Yo man, it's cool. It's cool, man.
Realistically, none of the people on that boat should have survived because they're in the middle of the ocean with Jason on a boat. But plot points. Jason Takes Manhattan is all over the place, but maybe that's why I like it. The only reason I think I put it above the final chapter is because it took me longer to get into the final chapter, and I really do enjoy the third act of this movie. I get that there's not a lot of fans of it, but I do enjoy it. Plus, I mean, it has this kill. Number 4, Friday the 13th, Part 3. The third entry into the franchise is mostly known for two things, being in 3D when it was released, and the movie where Jason gets his hockey mask. Part 3 is a nice sequel that literally continues the day after the second movie, so technically this is Saturday the 14th, as the final chapter should be Sunday the 15th. Anyway, it's a straight to the point sequel. A group of teens show up at Crystal Lake and get slaughtered. They try to add a story with the main girl Chris, who supposedly had an earlier encounter with Jason. It was a pretty pointless plot point. The movie is really carried by its kills. The characters were okay, I mainly just like the bikers. Overall, a pretty tame but enjoyable sequel. Number 3, Jason Goes to Hell. I know, this is the worst to a lot of people. I get that. But I refuse to say that I hate this one because I don't. When you talk about fun in horror, this is one of my ideas of fun. No, the story doesn't fit at all with the franchise, but by definition, it's not a Friday the 13th movie. There's barely any Jason at all in his true form, but the kills are amazing. To me, these are the best of the franchise outside of the unrated version of Part 7. It has that 90s atmosphere that I love. We got a final guy instead of a final girl, even though Jessica is there. Steven was awesome and did whatever he could to save his baby and her mother. Jason is really not a zombie here anymore, but a demon. Yes, stupid. They try to incorporate some Evil Dead stuff in here, but overall I just don't think it really worked out that well. It also has probably the most iconic ending to one of these movies, period. It was the setup to Freddy vs. Jason, which again, we went straight to Jason X instead of going straight into Freddy vs. Jason. Overall though, I just have a whole lot of fun with this one. Number 2, Friday the 13th, Part 5, A New Beginning. Right off the bat, the killer isn't Jason. That didn't stop me from having a good time with this. The only thing I think that held it back was that it really doesn't fit well with the first few movies. I get that it's supposed to be literally a new beginning, hence the killer being a parent whose child was killed at the watch of other adults. However, that doesn't work here. Roy knew who killed his son, and that dude lived. Yeah, he's gonna be in jail for the rest of his life, but I think killing everyone outside of the murderer is wild. Enough of the negatives though, this movie is fun. This is without a doubt my favorite cast of characters of any of these movies. It does go without saying that Reggie is a standout. The brief moments we get between him and his brother are great too. The kills are just okay in this movie. I think the moments with the characters are better. Ethel and Junior are hilarious.
Say it like you mean it, Ma!
Would you shut the fuck up?
I love Violet's dance scene. And the grown-up Tommy Jarvis was cool too. We dive into his trauma and we see where it leads him in the ending of the movie, but that doesn't get a follow-up. Like I said, it doesn't really fit with the others, and that's one of the reasons why technically you could skip this and go straight from the final chapter to Jason Lives, and you would have missed nothing with the story. Still though, I like this one a lot. Number 1, Friday the 13th, Part 6, Jason Lives. When I think of popcorn fun or a movie that will be the most fun to watch in theaters, this one is it for this franchise. This movie marks the debut of Zombie Jason. It's where all the supernatural elements come into play, but honestly, it was for the better. Jason had evolved to be a hell of a lot stronger and seemingly unkillable. There are homages to Frankenstein, 007, had a kick-ass soundtrack, and the kills were awesome, and Jason himself was on some military Batman type shit. This movie also has my favorite portrayal of Tommy Jarvis. True enough though, everything during the movie and afterwards is his fault. You had one job, Tommy. One job. Regardless, the movie blends the elements of what I like in Friday the 13th and adds some sprinkled in comedy, self-awareness, and overall fun in a similar way to Scream, in my opinion, before Scream did it. It was the right time and the right way to continue the series after the previous sequel. It's just an overall great and fun movie. Another franchise, another ranking. Friday the 13th is another franchise near and dear to my heart. Halloween will always be my number 1, but this franchise is definitely number 2. Jason is ruthless, and the camp location was perfect for slasher films. Maybe we'll get more movies in the future. Regardless, this is my ranking of my personal favorites. Feel free to share yours in the comments below. Thank you for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and if you did, please like, comment, and subscribe for future content. Take care, y'all.